Hello, welcome back. And I'm late. 10. Yeah, I am. So this week we are talking about non-binary God or some mythological figures. And as usual, I am going to be the East Asian again, and I'm going to talk about like my own traditional religion of my country. Not my own, but my country, yeah. Our traditional religion is a mixture of Buddhism and Taoism. That's pretty much like how the main Buddhism like in the main East Asian area, but because there's China, which is like 80% of East Asian, so that's probably reason why it is the main look of Buddhism in East Asia, and that's quite different than how it is in India, which is the origin of Buddhism. And that's what brings us to this quite extraordinary case. The goddess I'm going to talk about is called Guan Yin, and I call her goddess because it's easier, and she's actually Bodhisattva. I have no idea how that pronounced, so let's just call it goddess. As in like the traditional Buddhism, there's no such as god or goddess, and then goddess, and there's a lot of different type of higher being, but in the traditional local religion here, we pretty much just see that as god and goddess. So let's just keep it simple and keep it that way. Buddhism was originated in India, but it became widely perceived in China. And while China, there we have our original religion, and is in some form quite alike with Buddhism, and that's Taoism, and it's because how it been mixed together nowadays, and like most people couldn't even tell apart which part of our religion is Taoism, which part is Buddhist, and it pretty much just became a whole in the most Chinese area. And part of the reason why it been mixed up is because it helped to separate the religion and help folks to easier perceive and receive a religion to being their own. And during this mixture and the mix up, around the time of like 10th or 11th century, there is something happened to the one's god, and the god was quite like Jesus Christ for some sense, because he was the savior figure of Buddhism religion, and that's our Guan Yin, who was originally a god in the original Buddhism belief, but during the mixture of both religions around the time, there is another figure in Taoism being seen as a similar figure and being seen as the same figure for people to receive. Then their image become mixed and got replaced into a female goddess, and it become wildly popular. So you can see her as a trans woman god, but as her power as a high being, she can presenting herself as 33 different images, including different age and different social status of woman and female. So you can also see her as a gender fluid god, as a savior. She can put herself in different image to fit in the situation to the society, how the person and the society need to be saved. So she's like the person who's overrule and overpower gender rule and taking over it. as an empowering power of herself, which is quite awesome. Also, within the 33 image, including a lot of different type of higher being, also including dragons. So you can also say it's an other king, yeah, such a transgender. Yeah, what was I saying? Because of these special images and the transition of her image, she also being portrayed as intersex or trans woman in a lot of fiction, like fantasy fiction based on Buddhism and especially East Asian Buddhism, Taoism mixture belief, like in the manga and anime series called Sayuki, which is based on the same name novel but with different writing. And the novel is kind of one of the classics, one of the biggest classic adventure novel and Buddhism novel of Chinese. So it's a Japanese manga and anime based on that novel. It just portrays Guan Yin as an intersex. So hope you find it interesting. I think bringing different culture is like my place with this channel. So yeah, I think I do my job here. And see you next week. No, not next week. Just see you a few days later. So bye.